Hello learners, I am here with the video lesson on Unit 10. The topic of the unit is Philosophical Basis of Education. Before starting this video lesson, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Neelkamal Saran, Assistant Professor in School of Education, IGNOU. In this video lesson, we will discuss about the educational philosophies of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo. Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo revolutionized and awakened the Indian philosophical mind. They brought with them a new and higher consciousness. They can be viewed as great masters of philosophy of unity in diversity. And surprisingly enough, they were also linked to each other. Sri Aurobindo was accosted by Swami Vivekananda through his dreams and was the one who prompted him to start his sadhana. By the end of this video lesson, you will be able to analyze the reflections on the concept and educational thoughts of Swami Vivekananda in present educational system. You will also be able to discuss the educational thoughts of Swami Vivekananda with reference to concepts, aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching and discipline. And you will be able to analyze the reflections on the concept and educational thoughts of Sri Aurobindo in present educational system, and you will also be able to discuss the educational thoughts of Sri Aurobindo with reference to concept, aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching and discipline. Let us see the brief life sketch of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born on 12th January 1863 in Calcutta, which is presently known as Kolkata. During the childhood time, he excelled in music, gymnastics and studies. He was graduated from Calcutta University, and also he had acquired a vast knowledge of different subjects, especially in philosophy and history. He used to practice yoga and meditation from his childhood and was associated with Brahmo movement for some time. He will be always remembered for awakening young India in spiritual realization and devotion. In the year 1893, he gave his historic speech at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, USA, which is ever remembered by every Indian. Vivekananda has been addressed as an intensely spiritualistic philosopher and scientific saint, and he died in the year 1902. Let us see the philosophy of life according to Swami Vivekananda. So, if you see the philosophy of life according to Vivekananda, his philosophy is based upon Vedantic philosophy, and he looked at Vedantic views from the standpoint of spiritualism, modernity, science, rationalism and equality. And his philosophy of life can be best interpreted in terms of metaphysical, epistemological and axiological point of views. Now, if we talk about metaphysical view, he explained karma doctrine in terms of social significance. His views on God are for service to the poor in a radically changed social context by emphasizing the potential quality of all the souls at the spiritual level. He intended to make Vedantic prescriptions as the very basis for the regeneration of Indian society. So, Vivekananda's philosophy has been characterized as Vedantic socialism. And if we see the epistemological views of philosophy of life, it focused on scientific methods in interpreting reality from the Vedantic perspective. So, because he follows scientific methods of interpreting reality, he accepts empirical knowledge, rational knowledge, intuitive knowledge and also revealed knowledge. And another important aspect of his epistemology was that the explanation of all phenomena must be from within the individual. He was against resorting to extra cosmic and supernatural explanation even with regard to religious phenomena. And his axiological interpretation emphasizes traditional Indian value structure which comprises dharma, arth, काम and moksha. However, with the intention to rejuvenate the Vedantic tradition, he reinterpreted Purushartha without deviating from the basics with his appeal to the youth to find moksha in social service. Let us see the educational thoughts of Swami Vivekananda. Education is the manifestation of divine perfection already existing in man. This was the educational philosophy of Swami Vivekananda. This thought reflected in his educational concept. So according to him, education helps to manifest the power, intellectual abilities and the potential which the individual already has, that he or she received from the supreme power or the divine. Power, the intellectual abilities which the child already possesses, education should help to manifest only those powers and intellectual abilities and potential of the child. So he strongly believed that education lies hidden in the mind of the child, which the child uncovers and develops by his own efforts. And his philosophy of education was based on the philosophy of idealism as well as humanism. Vivekananda criticized the contemporary system of education from the humanistic viewpoint. He was a humanist and pleaded for education for man making. He emphasizes on man making. Education should be such that it should be man making process. So according to him, function of education is the uncovering of the knowledge hidden in our mind. Whatever knowledge is hidden in our mind, that should be uncovered through education, according to Swami Vivekananda. His educational thoughts can be understood as through some of the points, like in contrast to contemporary system of education, Vivekananda advocated education for self-development. Education should be for self-development of the child. He suggested brahmacharya for self-development. How this self-development will take place? Through brahmacharya. And fulfillment of swadharma was one of the important aims of education. That means each child should be given opportunities to develop according to his or her own inner nature. He also advocated character formation, which is one of the important aspects of education, and how this character can be formed among the children. This can be formed through hard work, cultivation of moral and spiritual values, followed from Gurukul system of education, formation of good habit, learning through one's mistake. And these are the important aspects for character formation. So education should be for character formation. And the aims of education according to Swami Vivekananda was service for mankind. Education should be such that a child can be prepared for the service of mankind, for realization of truth. Education should be for all round development of human personality, that is, or we can say that man making education. Unity in diversity was one of the important aims of education. Swamiji considered perfection in all aspects of one's endeavor is the greatest creed of education. Now let us see the curriculum according to Swami Vivekananda. Child. For spiritual development, he suggested some of the subjects like religion, philosophy, epic, Upanishad. And for physical life, he suggested subjects like language, geography, science, political science, economics, psychology, art, agriculture, industrial and technical subjects, games and sports. And the methods of teaching according to Swamiji is practice of yoga, lecture, discussion, self-experience, creative activities, because the aim of education was related to all-round development of the child, spiritual development of the child, and also it should be for the development or prepare the child for the physical life. So Swamiji suggested brahmacharya, spiritualism, meditation, concentration, etc. should be the basic methods of teaching. Let us see the concept of discipline according to Swamiji. He was in favor of self-discipline, not discipline imposed by others. He was totally against the discipline which is imposed by the teacher or any other people. So he advocated human discipline through brahmacharya and meditation. This self-discipline comes from brahmacharya and meditation. And he also believed that realization of the self was the real path of discipline. Let us see the concept of a student according to him. So he says that child is the repository of all types of knowledge. Everything is inside the child. Like a plant grows, let the child grows on his or her own. He should not be, his natural growth should not be disturbed. He should be advocated or helped to grow naturally and spontaneously. It should not be disturbed. Everything is inside the child. Let him grow naturally. Next is, let us see the concept of teacher according to Swamiji. The role of teacher is to help the child for his or her natural way of development and living. And to him, teacher is the one who practices yoga, meditation and brahmacharya. So it is important for the teacher that the teacher should practice yoga, meditation and brahmacharya. Swamiji defined that teacher, according to him, the teacher is a friend, philosopher and guide who help the child to grow forward in his own way. Let us see the educational thoughts of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. Sri Aurobindo Ghosh is one of the popular educational thinkers of idealism philosophy in the field of education. The concept of integral education and the practice of integral school by Sri Aurobindo is very popular among the masses. Now let us understand the educational philosophy and other pedagogic aspects of education as suggested by Sri Aurobindo. First of all, let us see the brief life sketch of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo Ghosh was born in Calcutta on 15th August 1872. In 1893, he joined as professor of English at Baroda College in Gujarat. And his ideas and theories of education were as per the needs of the Indians. He also initiated an international ashram, an international center of education and social activities. And Aurobindo, as the city of human unity, was his experiment in Pondicherry in India. Let us see the philosophy of life according to Aurobindo. Integral is the concept that forms the basis of Aurobindo's philosophical and educational ideas. His educational philosophy is based upon the ideas of idealism school of philosophy, and he also believed that reality is the truth and an integral whole of the individual and its action. Let us see the educational thoughts of Aurobindo. According to Aurobindo, the aim of education should be physical and mental development of the child with purity. He emphasizes on physical and mental development of the child. Development of the senses is also one of the important aim of education according to Sri Aurobindo. Human being or child should learn how to control their senses. So the development of senses is also an important aim of education according to Sri Aurobindo. Development of morality is also an important aim. Development of conscience and spiritual development is the important aim of education according to Sri Aurobindo. If we see his basic thoughts of education, then he says that medium of instruction should be mother tongue. He emphasizes that to teach a child should be kept at the center of all learning activities. Everything should be framed, should be revolving around the child. So, child is the center of all learning activities, and education should be provided as per the mental abilities and psychology of the child. As we learn today, the psychology of the child and his mental ability. So, Aurobindo at that time he said that education should be provided as per the mental abilities and the psychology of the child. Achieving spiritualism should be the goal of education according to Sri Aurobindo. He also says that training of senses should be imparted and consciousness should be developed through education. Development of senses was one of the important aim of education. So, he emphasizes on this training of senses, and the basic foundation of education should be brahmacharya. Child should follow brahmacharya. Education should develop all the faculties of the child to make him or her a complete human being. Let us see the curriculum according to Sri Aurobindo as suggested by Sri Aurobindo. The subjects included in the curriculum should be according to the interest of the child, as Sri Aurobindo says that the child should be the center of all teaching learning activities. So, curriculum should be such that it should be according to the interest of the child. It should address the physical, mental and spiritual development of the child. And he also suggested that curriculum should be interesting and it should motivate the child to study. So, everything is revolving around the child. And he suggested the curriculum for different stages of education. At primary level, he suggested the subjects like mother tongue, English, French, social studies and fine arts for spiritual, mental and physical development of the child. At secondary stage, he suggested mother tongue, English, French, mathematics, social science, physics, chemistry, biology, botany, health science, fine arts and geology should be taught to the child. At university level, Indian and Western philosophy, psychology, sociology, history, English literature, French literature, international relationships, physics and chemistry should be taught to the child. And for vocational education, the subjects like acting, dance, Indian and European music, vocal art, painting, photography, sewing, typing and shorthand should be included in the curriculum of vocational education. Let us see the methods of teaching as suggested by Sri Aurobindo. Teaching methods should be based on demonstrating activities and in the interest of the child. Repeatedly he is emphasizing on the interest of the child. Aurobindo suggested that learning through self-study, self-experience and introspection method. Learning should be through self-study, it should not be imposed on the child, it should be through self-study, self-experience and introspection. One of the important method, introspection method. He advocated the importance of oral method of teaching also, as oral method of teaching help in talking, logic, expression, description, etc. For all these things, oral method of teaching is also important. Concept of teacher as according to Sri Aurobindo. Child occupies the central position in the process of education. Child is the center of the whole teaching learning process according to Sri Aurobindo. So, every child has the potential abilities which the teachers need to identify and develop. What does the teacher do according to Aurobindo? According to Aurobindo, teachers should identify and develop the potential abilities already possessed by the child. Teacher should not impose his or her own thoughts upon the learners. Rather, teacher should help and guide them for developing to the fullest human being. Teacher should not impose anything upon the learner. He should guide, should help the child in the development, in developing to the fullest extent. They can grow to the fullest extent. The all round overall development of the child can take place in a natural way, which is the teacher should not impose his or her own thoughts. The child, they possess their own thought and the teacher need to identify and develop those thoughts possessed by the child. So, according to him, what is teacher? Teacher is a facilitator and guide. He is the one who facilitates the child learning and guide the learning of the child. Now, concept of school as according to Sri Aurobindo. School environment should be helpful in physical and spiritual development of the child. The aim of education was physical and spiritual development. So, school should be such that it helps in the physical and spiritual development of the child. Children should not be discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, reason, color, creed, etc. So, school environment should be full of cooperation, love and harmony. School environment should not be such that it discriminates the child on the basis of their caste, reason, color, creed, etc. Now, let us see the concept of discipline as suggested by Sri Aurobindo. Aurobindo, he strongly opposed corporal punishment and considered it as inhuman. So, child should not be punished if he or she does any type of mistake. The corporal punishment should not be given to the child. He was a strong supporter of controlling the child by their own and not by any other outer sources. Child should be self-controlled, self-disciplined, not by any other sources. So, he believed that self-controlled can be developed by practicing yoga and brahmacharya. This practice of yoga and brahmacharya will help the child to be self-controlled. So, let us see what we have studied today in this video lesson. We have studied the educational philosophies of Swami Vivekananda, We have also seen the aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching, concept of discipline, concept of teacher and student as suggested by Swami Vivekananda. Also we have studied the educational thoughts of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh and the aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching, concept of discipline, concept of teacher and concept of school as suggested by Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. We have also seen the relevance of the educational thoughts of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo Ghosh in the present time. Now here are some assessment questions for you all. The first question is, discuss the relevance of Swami Vivekananda's educational thoughts in the present time. The second question is, explain the place of teacher in education according to Sri Aurobindo. Now that's all in today's video lesson. Thank you. Have a good day.